Let's talk about Backrooms, the surprise movie hit about a creepy, inescapable world where everything looks the same.
Anyone there?
You probably know about its journey from Reddit meme to the big screen via YouTube, and how its director, 20-year-old Kane Parsons, started out making videos right here on YouTube as a teenager. With other films like Obsession and Iron Lung, there's a clear pipeline emerging now from YouTube to Hollywood. Meanwhile, YouTube is positioning itself as the next television, competing directly for advertising at upfronts, and YouTubers are even vying for primetime Emmys this year. And so you can begin to imagine a world where mainstream culture sources the next generation of ideas and stories and artistic talent from right here on YouTube. And if that's the case, we need to talk about it. I've been back on the platform for about 6 months now, and as an artist who wants to be more creative and who wants to help you be more creative, I'm worried that YouTube is not designed to support or encourage creativity. In fact, I think it's designed to do the opposite. And so in this video, I'm going to talk you through 6 ways YouTube is actively stifling our creativity and why that matters. And in fact, let's start right there with that last sentence I just said. And so in this video is probably one of the most common phrases you'll hear on YouTube, and on the surface it sounds like an innocuous, maybe even useful summary of what a video is going to be about, so you can decide whether to watch. But I'm going to let you in on a little industry secret, because when a YouTuber says the words "in this video," we're not talking to you, the human, we're addressing a machine, the YouTube algorithm. The algorithm now shapes YouTube entirely, both our individual experiences on it and the macro culture of the platform itself. Now, I don't know how it works either, but if it were to have a personality, I kind of like to imagine it would be like Dobby the house elf.
Hello!
You see, when someone uploads a video here, the algorithm has one job: put that video in front of the people who are going to watch it. And it seems to me, in my weird imagination at least, that the algorithm is kind of terrified of getting this wrong. Like, the worst thing it can do is put the wrong video in front of the wrong people.
Bad Dobby!
Stop! Dobby! Dobby!
So when you or I upload a video, the algorithm is desperately searching for clues to try and figure out who to put that video in front of. YouTube integrated Gemini AI earlier this year, and so now Dobby can read the title and the thumbnail. He can even scan the transcript of the video and all the text in it to try and understand who it's for. You know, I like to think that in an ideal world, YouTube could just create a box where we could tell the algorithm directly who the video is for, but we don't live in that world apparently, so let's forget it. Instead, every time we upload a video, we have to perform these bizarre scholastic acrobatics, writing titles that are stuffed full of keywords, but that also somehow don't sound insane. You can see here, using a plugin called vidIQ, that a creative or literary title, the sort of title that an interesting piece of fiction or drama might have, receives a really low score. That means Dobby just won't know what to do with it. But if I pack it so full of keywords until it just about makes sense, that score shoots up. And so on YouTube, it only really makes sense to produce this kind of work: explainers, tutorials, opinions, and so on. In other words, information, not art.
How can Dobby ever repay him?
And so, as any YouTuber from Mr. Beast right down to me will tell you, the title and the thumbnail, the metadata, matters way more than the content and the quality of the actual video itself. And so that's where the majority of our time and effort goes. Yes, marketing and packaging has always mattered in the publishing of art, at least for the last 200 years, but this is a weird and distorted state of affairs, guys, that I think is bad for our culture. It would be like if Michael Jackson spent more time and money designing the album cover for Thriller than writing any of the songs in it, or if a car company invested more in the name of its new model than in improving the engine. On YouTube, the world's biggest and most successful video platform, the video comes second. If you've never seen one of these before, let me introduce you to something that gives YouTubers nightmares. It's an audience retention graph. Every uploader can see one, and it tracks at what point in a video viewers give up and click away. It's also, we think, the single strongest indicator that Dobby has to find a video its audience. You see, when a video is published, the algorithm will show it to a small test audience first, and if only a small number of those people stick around to watch it, the algorithm limits who else can then see it. Remember, Dobby is scared, and Dobby doesn't want to get this wrong.
Dobby.
The effect of this is to corral YouTubers into all using the same structure, one that front loads all of the good stuff at the top, a structure where effectively the video gets less interesting the more it goes on. As well as limiting the diversity of storytelling, this is also the opposite of the narrative structure that we've all used since Homer, a structure that builds conflict towards a climax that is emotionally satisfying. You can find a lot of great stuff on YouTube, of course you can, but it's getting harder and harder, I feel, to find a good story well told, and that's a problem for us the more that culture is sourced from here, because stories are so important. Right, a very short history lesson. When I first started making YouTube videos back in 2013, the subscribe button actually did something. It seemed simple, really, almost innocent, but when you clicked on that button, YouTube would then show you new videos from that channel when they were published. So having more subscribers would generally correlate to getting more views, but more importantly, it created this bond between a creator and their audience. We could make videos knowing that our fans would show up, and you could see our work grow and develop over time. This is really good for creativity, but those days are gone. Today, as I'm sure you've seen, clicking subscribe seems to have the opposite effect. It seems to make it harder to find new videos from that channel. Dobby also doesn't show a video to all of a channel's subscribers, so even if you had 100,000 subscribers, that's no guarantee your video will be seen 100,000 times, or even half that.
For the first time since Web 2.0, my followers might not necessarily see my posts. And this idea of a subscription started to break down. If the person doesn't receive the things, it's not really a direct, true connection between a creator and their fans.
The co-founder of Patreon, Jack Conte, has a really eloquent take on all this and the damage it's done to creativity. I've put a link to it down in the description. In Dobby's quest to put your video in front of the right people and not mess it up, he'd really appreciate it if you just stuck to making videos about the same kind of thing, if you don't mind. In fact, the most fundamental advice given to any aspiring YouTuber is to pick a lane and then stick to it. And if you look at the most successful YouTubers, they're generally people who've picked a lane, they've picked a format and a style, and then they've rinsed and repeated for years. But of course, this is not how creativity works. Art and novelty are made from the combination, the collision between unexpected things. Artists are usually fascinated by a whole range of different interests, but on YouTube, we're being forced to pick one and commit. I'm sure you can think of channels and creators who are full of creativity. I see them too, but the exceptions don't disprove the general rule. For art and creativity to flourish and culture with it, it's so important that people are encouraged to play, to experiment, to break things. And it genuinely worries me that one of our biggest cultural ecosystems today punishes people for following their instinctive curiosity. YouTubers figure out early on that hitching their ideas to popular culture increases the chance of them finding a big audience. It even has a name, the adjacent audience strategy. And hey, hands up, it's definitely worked for me on this channel. But there's something, I don't know, kind of parasitic about it, right? Because you're constantly trying to shoehorn your ideas into popular culture rather than just letting them stand on their own. Instead of creating from within, trusting our curiosity and our taste, YouTube has created a place where it pays to think more like Andy Warhol, just screen printing celebrity references. The effect of this, though, is to bloat ecosystems that are already popular while discouraging videos about smaller and more unusual ideas. And so the wealth inequality of ideas, if you like, increases with already popular people and fandom and ideas getting richer while everyone else gets poorer. It's the cultural equivalent of when all of the small independent cafes in your town were replaced with Starbucks and Subways. Choice goes down, prices go up, and everything tastes the fucking same. And then, of course, there's the money. The economics of YouTube are pretty stingy. The platform pays us creators a little over half out of every dollar it makes from serving ads on our videos. And while it's genuinely amazing that tens of thousands of people are able to make extra money or even a whole living from YouTube today, there's little incentive to spend money making videos better or more creative. The platform's really only profitable if the videos are basically free to produce. And so, again, with exceptions, I know, the cheapest thing to do is this: sit your ass in a chair and monologue into a camera. And so that's what everyone does. It just doesn't make sense to try harder than this. And that's fine, I guess. Except this is video, the moving image, one of the most powerful emotional and narrative mediums we have. Pictures and words and music all in harmony together. It's capable of poetry and metaphor and meaning and so much more. And thanks to YouTube, it's been reduced to what? A bland, never-ending maze of sameness, endless corridors of human heads delivering cheap takes to algorithms against the gentle, forgettable hum of royalty-free chill hop. There is no escape. As I said at the beginning, this matters because these off-yellow walls are where the film studios and the book publishers and the consumers are looking for the stories, the ideas, and the talent that will shape our culture for a generation. And I don't love the idea that our culture's sensibilities will be limited by the paranoid fears of a house elf.